Valve's biggest update in the past 3 months has just finally dropped, and it's very interesting. Starting off with the Copenhagen Sale right here. Now, Copenhagen Capsules have officially hit 75% off. In the upcoming weeks, we're going to be breaking down which currencies are going to be the best for you to buy, because if we want to look at Paris and other previous sales, there usually is a best currency, so I would not suggest investing into any of these capsules just yet. Obviously, we have a lot of time to figure out if we want to make an investment into this. We need to collect some data, and at the end of the day, you're going to be having more than enough time based off previous sales. Talking about stickers as well, it's not going to be making you any sense to go ahead and try and find some of these as an investment right now. One, you're going to have more than enough time, but two, the prices stereotypically are going to be on a decreasing trajectory for the entirety of the sale. People usually underestimate how long the sale is going to be, and therefore they keep on opening up these capsules. The prices for these stickers keep on going lower, and at the end of the day, it's going to be a losing game to fight. It's going to be a losing battle. You're not going to want to do this. You're going to want to hang on to your money until we really know how long the sale is going to be removed for, because Valve is almost guaranteed to tell us when they're going to. SkinSwap is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with the top link in the description. They're here to cater to all of your CS2 and Rust skins need, as they're the top place for buying on some brand new skins, selling off your old skins, or trading your new CS2 skins for some new ones as well. They've got everything, and transactions are taking under 30 seconds right now. They also offer the most competitive rate out there, as a massive 40% deposit bonus if you just top up today, and their selling feature is one of the best. With an instant cash out and many different payout options, there's no reason not to try them out today. Now, talking about what is the most important thing from my perspective coming from this and not relating to Copenhagen is going to be the map removal. Now, I have preached constantly how you should be holding onto your Copenhagen tokens, because I think it's very likely we're going to see a map get removed, and that map was actually overpassed. Now, there's a lot to break down with this. First up, Dust 2 coming back into the market. Now, this is going to be very detrimental for a lot of Dust 2 souvenir package investors, because there is really no differentiation between old souvenir packages and the ones we're probably going to see in Shanghai. Just keep that in mind. You've got 6 months at least before you have to start thinking about it, but it's very important you do so. The other thing, Copenhagen now has the opportunity to buy overpass souvenir packages, so it's not going to be to your advantage to buy some of the other ones. In my personal opinion, $3 is really all you should be paying for the overpass package, because there is no differentiation between the old overpass souvenir packages and the new one, and the biggest thing about it is the overpass souvenir package sucks. At the end of the day, the overpass souvenir package is one of the worst out there. Comparing it to the Nuke, the Inferno, and the overpass, these are the three worst out there, because they don't have a covert skin, and therefore the desirability for these packages is extremely low. There's a reason why these ones are sitting below $3 for the Paris package, because no one is interested in opening them, because no one wants the skins inside of them, unless we're talking about the pinks or the purples potentially. It's not even guaranteed here. If you want my honest opinion, I would say if you've got tokens you want to spend, obviously go for overpass here, because it's the only one that's not going to be available at the next major. But at the end of the day, I really don't think you're going to be missing out on anything too crazy, because the desirability for these packages are super low. Souvenir packages overall have a super low desirability after their specific major ends, and there is so many overpass souvenir packages out there that you're not going to be missing out on anything. Now, I'm not too much of an updates guy, but there is so much that we got to go over it. First up, obviously you have probably seen it, the left-handed view model is completely back. It's something that people have been wanting for such a significant amount of time, and it's very important that it's back, because it shows that Valve is obviously listening to some of the input that the community is giving back. There's also a lot to go along with a brand new potential VAC system, or the updated version of it. I'm not 100% sure on that. You can check out a lot of people that are a lot more interested in it than me personally, but it's good to see improvements along these lines, because obviously that is a crucial point for the game right now. We need something to change amongst those. Obviously, then we have a ton of different weird things going on. You've got a lot of different map updates, a lot of different buy menu updates. The HUD has received some updates. There is just nearly everything going on, and there is so many different updates that come along with this, which is a very good sign, because we haven't seen any major updates excluding this one in the past couple of weeks, and even that was a little bit of a tease. The only other thing I want to point out is they went ahead and reverted a lot of the changes they did to Inferno, because a lot of people really didn't like that at the pro level, which is also a really good sign that Valve is listening and they are looking to make those improvements. Now, talking about what to watch right now, there's a couple big things. The first thing I'm going to be watching is the stickers that have no borderless alternatives. Obviously, there is 6 teams out there with Legacy, Amcal, Ecstatic, Koi, Saw, and Lin Vision, but I'm going to go ahead and get rid of 3 of those. The only ones I'm focusing in on are Saw, Koi, and Lin Vision. These are the ones that have the most demand right now, and they're going to be the ones that are going to be the most investment potential in my personal opinion. Now, if we want to look at these, we're not going to be making any investments today, but I want to make sure we're tracking the prices of these and consistently looking at them, because they're going to be the ones that potentially having that one singular sticker that has the concentrated demand that ends up going significantly in price. Now, this is just my personal investment strategy, but it's also something that we can statistically show by the Antwerp stickers right here. You can see that the ones that only have one option perform significantly better than the ones that have multiple options, even though this data doesn't really work too much anymore because a lot of these stickers have received ones after that. Now, a lot of people have been talking about the Paris stickers and the Paris capsules and how they believe they were going to dropping significantly once we saw the Copenhagen Sale roll out and release. And while this is definitely something that we're probably going to see on a very small scale because Paris is not going up anytime soon in the short-term future here, I would definitely say this is more so of just a following trend for Paris rather than something that Copenhagen is directly done, in my personal opinion. If we want to look at Paris, obviously it's on a downward trend, and something like Copenhagen releasing the sale is not going to benefitly impact this capsule or these stickers, and therefore they're just going to continue their trend. I will say if you've got Paris investments, obviously don't sell them off to try and make Copenhagen investments. That is a terrible, terrible decision. I don't think that Copenhagen is necessarily going to be more or less invested into than Paris at this time. We need to make sure we get that data before we're making strong decisions like that. When we're talking about Paris, you do know everything about the capsule and the stickers at this point, which good, bad, whatever, you definitely have it, and therefore you can make your decision based off the data you have rather than trying to go ahead and guess for Copenhagen at this point, which would just be a terrible option. Now, talking about what's next, it's very interesting because I want to look at the player counts. Things are starting to heat up from that perspective. Obviously, we are nearly 1 million concurrent players all the time, which is something we have not seen in a significant amount of time and would be very beneficial for the game. But if we want to shift over to the skins, the overall market, we can see that not really much is going on here. Although it's not necessarily dropping, it's not really seeing that growth you would expect to see with a massive amount of players coming into the game. It's a very interesting dynamic right now, and it offers up a little in terms of what could actually be coming next. Talking about updates on the horizon, the news is not too good, at least at this point. If we want to look at what happened from the A Call to Arms update on February 6th, we can see that we really didn't see any major updates for the next 2 to 3 months afterwards. This was the most next recent update that was actually a decent sized one, and therefore it definitely offers up the possibility that we're not going to be seeing any big updates for the next month or two at least. However, then we also have the other possibilities of the fact that we are now in the longest period in the entire history of the game that we have not seen an operation. I mean, let's be completely honest, an operation right now would be very useful for Valve because they're nearing very high player count numbers, the highest they've seen consistently inside of CS2, and we've obviously haven't seen one for the overall player base. It's just a great time to stimulate it, and I think it's definitely something Valve is potentially looking at. Now, what am I doing right now? There's a couple big things. First up, I'm watching over Copenhagen stickers that I'm potentially thinking about investing into. I'm not making any actual investments yet, but I'm looking at the ones that I think have some potential, at least at a baseline level. I'm checking in on them and looking at their price points and seeing everything about that. Otherwise, I'm checking out the case market right now. We just talked about how there is no updates potentially in the next month, which is very bad for a lot of investments. Cases are not one of them. This is actually a very beneficial thing for the case market. The truth is, people are always going to be opening up cases inside of this game, and we can make a very strong investment into this area because we know they're not going to stop just because there's no new content coming into the game. In fact, they might actually speed up, and that's something that we consistently see inside of this area. Rare cases are my #1 suggestion during nearly every time in the market, and I think right now is no different. I think there's a very strong potential inside of this area, and you should check it out. That's all I got with the case, so I want to give you guys